A central plank of Singapore's strategy for meeting its future energy needs is the use of liquefied natural gas. So much so, the government is starting work on a third storage tank for its LNG terminal. I'm Arnold Gay, and joining me today is Neil McGregor. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Singapore LNG. Neil, welcome. Let me start by asking you, where at 3 do you see 4, 5, 6 in the months ahead, in the weeks ahead?
Well, it's very much dependent on what our stakeholders and what our customers need to do their business in the long term. LNG is a very important commodity, and Singapore is well placed by putting in a new terminal to connect to the global gas market.
In terms of a dateline, you have 2013. Give us an update on progress so far.
We're pretty much on schedule, and we're about 60% complete, which means we're fairly advanced in our program.
And are your stakeholders telling you that they would be interested in buying some space or, in fact, buying the product down the road?
Yes, we're working with all people in the region, looking at additional capacity to support breakbulk businesses, or even in the longer term, LNG bunkering, which seems an interesting prospect over the next 5 to 10 years.
A recurring theme for Asia has to be this, if you like, chase for energy supplies to make sure we have enough to continue with the kind of growth rates that the region has seen. Give us a sense of how important LNG is in the mix of this race, if you like.
Well, it's very important, especially to Singapore's economy, because 80% of power generation comes from gas, whereas traditionally about 10 years ago, 80% came from oil. So there's been a real transformation here in the way the economy is powered. Singapore's a gateway economy, and this terminal will also be a gateway for gas entry into not only Singapore for energy security, but also to the region.
Is there a danger that we're becoming over-reliant on LNG? 80%, as you mentioned, and the fact is it's going up in terms of price, and the Indonesians are talking about cutting back on supplies to Singapore at the same time.
Well, no, Singapore is 80% gas-based, but a proportion of that with piped natural gas that we get from both Indonesia and Malaysia, that makes up around about 55 to 60% of the total demand for Singapore once LNG comes in place.
And given the kind of demand that we've seen for energy supplies as well as gas, do you think that this secondary goal, if you like, of making Singapore LNG a hub for trading and so forth in gas markets, is that something that's still viable?
Well, it is very much dependent on our customers and the way they want to carry out their business. We're a facilitator of that business, being the terminal. The fact that the market is segmenting, we have price separation between a number of continents. The US price is about half the price of Asian-based gas, and also similar with Europe. The fact that we're actually seeing a premium market with Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and a more economy-type market with China and India, we're getting segmentation which shows that a market is actually developing in LNG. But it's going to take quite a while to develop. But without a terminal, you cannot be connected to this market, and you can't facilitate it in the long term.
And in the context of what's happening in Europe, particularly in the US, in terms of a slowdown, has that affected the outlook for the sector in any significant way?
No, in fact, most of the economic development is planned to occur in Asia over the next 10 to 20 years. And in fact, we are seeing demand profiles actually doubling in the need for LNG.